Hi, folks. Rick Mackey here. Just coming on real quick tonight to just cover a couple things that I wanted to discuss. Let me just get this set up here. All right. Let me switch over to the browser real quick. Oh, there it goes. All right. So I just wanted to kind of give a little instruction on how we will be doing these lives as we have them, and give the instructions on how to do the pass through for the chat. So the last time we were live, we had some issues with getting the chat thing working. So what I mean by that is I have like a central panel that I can see like all the different chats coming in from like YouTube and Facebook and different places. Um, but if we don't, for the Facebook, we have to actually allow Restream to do the pass through. So you go to this link right here. So right now, for every live that I do, I'm going to have these instructions attached to the video, so you can actually just scroll up from here, click on this link. You only have to do this one time. You don't have to do this every time. So if we click on that link, all you have to do is click this right here. It says allow Restream to show my name, and that will allow that pass through thing to work for our lives each week. So that was something I figured out after last week's debacle, if you will. So let's see. Also, I wanted to show people that if something should happen with our, getting shut down on Facebook or whatever, not being able to do our lives here on Facebook or YouTube, we also have this link here on our website, GetEsoteric.com. You can go to this link here, site only direct live, click on that link. And this will also give us a feed here. As you can see, it'll be a little bit delayed, I think, from what you're seeing. You have to press the play button. I don't want to do that because it'll bring the sound in and it'll create an infinite loop. But this will take like a periodic snapshot if you don't actually press the play here. So that's what that's for. And let's see what else we got here. Also for folks that want to call in, or they want to be part of the show, they want to be part of the discussion, you can click on this link here. Open that in another tab. And that should, where did that bring me? Hold on a second. Oh, sorry, this one here. Sorry, this is the one that I just showed you, the direct live. And then this is the one for participating in the show. So if we come here, of course, that's going to do an infinite thing because I'm, the one signing in. But you basically just put your name in here and hit join stream, and that'll let you in to the studio area where I can bring you in for a discussion. So there's that. And so, but there were some other things that I wanted to cover, not just explaining how to do this. Tonight's show with David Wilcock actually prompted something in my mind that I wanted to share. Let me get myself straightened out here. Back to the video. Okay, so tonight's show with David Wilcock, he was covering some research. Again, it's Russian or German science most of the time that he's referring to, and these experiments that were done had something to do with these Russian scientists were doing plant research, specifically at the DNA level, and they were able to find that that these plants had, I don't know if they introduced a DNA defect or something like that in the plants, or if the DNA defect was a natural occurrence. But over the time with the experiment, they found that there was some kind of a field around the plant, or an energetic field or something, that also helped this plant to heal itself. It helped to heal its own DNA. So that prompted, I think the reason he was bringing that up was over the concerns that people have about what this vaccine, or the V, I should say, I should actually use that word, might get taken down. So, people were having these concerns about the vaccine, and what the uh, what the V could possibly do to our DNA or the RNA or whatever. And I've been saying all along that we have the power to transcend all of that. No matter what they do, or if we're forced to take an injection or whatever, that we don't have to worry so much about that. I don't think, because I don't really believe that there's like. I mean, I know that this could cause damage, but I don't think that all of these people involved are making some kind of nefarious thing to harm people directly. I mean, they might not know what could happen with it, but we do have the power to transcend it, to heal it, um, things like that. I just feel that in my the depth of my soul, that we have this power to transcend all of that. So, one of the things he talked about was the fact, to prove that fact, was that the number of proteins, I guess, that they counted, there's supposed to be like a 1-to-1 uh, gene with the protein or something like that, and the math wasn't lining up, in a sense that there aren't enough genes to handle the number of proteins that are being manufactured in the body. So, because of that, there's this mysterious other place that the body gets instructions from besides the DNA itself. So if it's not coming from the DNA, where is it coming from? They don't even know, you know. And that gets into the other research where light therapies and things like that can heal the body, or heal DNA, or even transmute DNA from one species to another, and do all kinds of goofy things like that. So, and I know that there's technology out there to help heal and reverse certain things too. So it's not just like you're stuck with whatever you have. So, good evening to whoever it is that dialed in there. If you would like, it would be nice to have you click on the link and allow Facebook. Let me show that again for whoever it is commenting there. If we go back to here, let me share the browser again. If we go right to here, you'll see that there's a link right here. If you click on this link right here, just allow Restream access to Facebook. Then I'll know who's making the comments. But if you have any like interesting comments or things that you want to share, that would be helpful in the discussion. But at any rate, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like much fear around what's going on out there right now, and we have to kind of keep things in check a little bit until we know a little bit more about what's going to happen here, or a little bit more about the science behind it. How do I get back to where I was? I'll just leave it there, I guess. So, yeah. All right. So that one topic. And then what else did I have here? Yeah, new technology to repair. So there's all kinds of things going on in the news. I'm obviously behind the eight ball a little bit on some of the stuff, but I wanted to hopefully get some folks on to have a discussion about some of these things that I'm going to bring up. But this whole pipeline attack thing is bizarre, because I'm hearing all these stories about people that work, they work in the industry and they're saying things like, well, just because something was electronically attacked doesn't mean you don't have like overrides or backups or different ways to keep this pipeline running. So I think they shut it down initially for security purposes of the internal network, but I think there was a political reason they kept it down, and probably fighting to keep it down still. I think they defied the orders and turned it back on. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but it's not weird in and of itself that there was an attack there and that they kept it shut down for a little while. But what's weird is it's creating this shortage, or the so-called shortage already. Where people are panicking and going out and filling containers and whatnot. But then they had the obviously we had already had the executive order to shut down the Alaskan pipeline, and then we just recently had governor of Michigan wanting to shut down the pipeline coming in from Canada, which to me is very bizarre. And not only is it bizarre, but the timing of it. Like, why would you even think to deal with that or address that now? If there was a prior problem with a leak or whatever, that should have been taken care of. You don't wait until there's a last minute problem to address it. So tell me that's not political. I mean, it's definitely political. Something weird going on there. So let's see. So, like, if this wasn't like a political thing, wanting to do away with fossil fuels and doing it as quickly as possible, like, why are they going at this so hard, so fast, um, in all different angles and making it obvious? I think they're panicking over something. I think they're trying to get as much damage done as they can as quickly as possible. Otherwise, they'd be phasing that in. They wouldn't just do it all at one time. So, I mean, that gets back to the whole discussion on being prepared and having supplies and different things like that to survive events that could possibly happen. And but I keep like asking myself, well, how much can I really prepare for something like this? How much food can I store away? And if it was really that bad of a scenario, I don't think it's going to matter how much food I have stored away, because at that point, it's every man for himself. People will be breaking into each other's homes, stealing from each other. Even if you're the smart one that, unless you've got a place to run and hide to, like a real bunker or someplace out in the middle of the woods that nobody knows where it is. I really don't think like going overboard with that. I mean, having a couple weeks worth of food, having a couple, that's smart planning, just to kind of get you through if they shut down electricity for a little while or things are out. But I don't think having months and months of supplies and going into full panic and worrying about whether there's going to be gas and doing all this stuff, toilet paper, whatever, is going to be necessary, because you've got the military, you've got, uh, you've got all of these things that are set up for, like, if you've ever seen in the news like the hurricanes and things like that. Oh, there's Elise. All right, looks like you found out how to do the link. That's awesome. Great. Thanks for doing that. It's about learning how to be self-sufficient. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. And that's one of those things that, you know I mean, I think about even myself. Like, I grew up doing different things. Like, I learned how to fish and all that, but I never learned how to hunt. Like, I don't know how to do that. I mean, I could probably figure it out as in an emergency situation, whatever. But like, how to do it right, how to do it sanitary and everything, how to survive in a real disaster scenario. Like, I don't know. I got a lot of learning to do, and I think about um, just like plant identification, like learning how to identify which plants you can eat, different things like that for survival. Um, so let's see. Oops. Oh, that's weird how it does that. Sorry, I'm still learning the system a little bit too. It's kind of annoying. You can't see the person if I'm Yeah, I have a list of like chats, and I'm trying to like figure out like how can I see the person that I'm showing the comment for, but I actually have to go to the video to see that. It's kind of weird. Sorry, I'm learning. Uh so yeah, like how much do we plan? And you're saying it's about being self-sufficient, but you know, how self-sufficient can we be and for how long? Like how long is realistic, for because you have to have supplies, you have to have seeds or whatever, you need time to grow food, you need to be perfectly planned to have everything when you need it. So, I mean, stacking away some things is great, but like I said, I just don't think if it's that bad, I think we're going to be there to help each other. Like during a hurricane, what do people do? They drop all of their prejudices. They don't worry about whether they're Democrat or Republican. They don't worry about if they're a Christian or a non-Christian. They don't care about that stuff. They just care. There's something within us that wants to help each other. Like we don't really. It's not as bad as the media tries to make it out to be. People do care about one another, and society isn't as horrible as sometimes they try to make it out to be. I'm not saying things like racism don't exist. They obviously do, but I don't think it's a systemic problem the way that they try to make it out to be. And I think when the what hits the fan, we'll all come together and help each other. And that includes the military and everybody who took an oath to protect the American citizens and the Constitution, not just from enemies, but from natural disasters or whatever. That's part of what they do. Let's see. So yeah, there's a lot of talk about. I want to move on to the subject of vaccine passports and things like that. Now, not everybody wants to get this vaccine for obvious reasons. People are, you know, you have the database at the CDC that you can go and search these things out. And I actually did a little bit of research on that this week, and I noticed that the majority. I'm wondering how. What does this say here? Wondering how much supplies. Let me go back to the other topic here. Hold on a second. Wondering how much supplies we have. No idea how long they are going to play the game. Most of the time, people are pretty nice and they will help each other, right? Unless you are not wearing a mask. With the vaccine ID coming out in the deep state, also. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So I was saying too. I'll repeat it again. So if you go to the actual top of the video on Facebook, you can actually see there's a link there that will allow you to click. Um, I believe it's this one here. Not that will. I don't know if that will. If I paste that in the chat here, folks can see this. This will allow your name to come through on the chat. Oh no, those fails popcorn, hilarious. All right, so whoever's on and making comments, this is great. But I don't know who you are. I can't see it in my panel. So if you could go to that link I just posted, or the link at the top of the video will show you how to do the pass through. Let me just go and show that one more time while we're sitting here. So you go to the browser over here. Yep. So this link right here, if you just click on this link, whoops, this link right here, it'll bring you to this where you can just say allow restream. You only have to do this one time. So once you do that one time, you'll be good to go. You don't have to worry about ever doing that again. It's just a one-time deal so that we can see your name when it comes through on the chat. That way I can address you specifically and highlight your name and whatnot. If you want to stay hidden, that's fine too. But you are on Facebook, so why would you want to do that? So here we are back here. Let's go back to here. All right, so back at it. So yeah, vaccine passports. So there was an interesting TikTok that I wanted to show everybody. If I can find it. Sorry, I'm doing all the stuff myself. It's always it would be nice to eventually have like an assistant.
Vaccinated or wear a mask until you do. The choice is yours. So this person commented, I reiterate my offer. Please mail me the vaccination and the associated paperwork, and I will have it safely injected and returned.
Hold on for a second. I didn't actually switch over to the video. Oh, now I lost it. All right. So much for that.
Hey, can I sing a song for you?
All right. That's not going to work. Sorry, folks. I didn't cue that up good enough. So basically what the video said was that the argument was that if you don't get vaccinated, that businesses should just, not allow you in or whatever. And it's again one of those leftist ideologies where if you don't fall in line to follow what everybody else is doing, that they're just going to blackball you essentially in society. So let's see if we have any other folks that have questions or comments or anything that they want to add, or if you want to sign in, again, that link is at the top of the video in Facebook. You can click the link and sign in if you want to have a chat. If not, we'll probably sign off earlier. I just wanted to kind of like that one thing that David brought up tonight about that Russian experiment basically just confirms what I've been feeling all along, that no matter what they try to do to us, that God has power over the outcome of everything that happens there, that we have the ability spiritually to transcend all of it. So what's it saying here? Let's see what they're saying here. Israel is already requesting a vaccine passport to purchase food and goods. Beta testing? Yeah, it could be. It could be beta testing. Yeah, you hear a lot of this stuff, but it's in the requesting phase, right? It's not even like there are no laws passed and there are people fighting back. And I even like the other day, I think it's over in Europe or someplace, the UK, I think it was. This person was saying that they're going door to door now, trying to license their TV set. Like after all these years, they're trying to say, well, you have to, in order to get the license, you have to sign something that attests to the fact that you won't be watching certain things, that you'll only be watching like the BBC and their approved broadcasting. And boy, man, it's getting crazy out there. This communistic style of control over society everywhere. It's not even localized anymore. It's almost like it's happening all at one time. They're trying to gain as much control over what people do, the information that they have access to, what they can do online. Censorship is worldwide right now, and it's getting sick. And it's like even me, like I'm trying to do like maybe do this a little more frequently, but I'm kind of like, well, I feel like I can't say certain things. Like I can't speak my mind, or I got to worry about whether I'm going to say the V word or anything political at all. I mean, it's just going to create backlash and all kinds of problems. Okay, so why is that doing that? Let's see. Oops, what did that do? Oh no, we don't want to do that. All right. Does anybody else know anybody else running into those kinds of problems where there's just this overreach when it comes to forced vaccination? Like, there, and when I say forced vaccination, I'm talking about like not even, like someone coming to your house and, jabbing you in the arm. I'm talking about like to keep your job or go to school or whatever. Like, there's a lot of people that are turning away those opportunities just because they don't want to. They're afraid to of the possible outcome. You know. And we used to have freedom of choice in this country, and in many countries and around the world, there was certain level of freedom of choice. But they just keep this fear going with the B. And let's see what else we got going here. Um, yeah, and at the same time, there was a Chinese rocket that was launched into space. Right? How in the heck do you think that happened? Do you think their scientists are that dumb that they don't know what they're doing? That we just made a mistake. We don't know how to calculate the amount of fuel that it takes to move a rocket, into space. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I think that was done on purpose. I don't know if it was done as a distraction or some kind of like fear tactic where they're like, let's just see if we can produce a little bit more fear about what we might do. You know, like we could have, you know, launched a missile that could have created an EMP event, you know, and that stands for electromagnetic pulse. For those of you who don't know, they can do things like if you set off like a nuclear bomb or something at an upper atmospheric level, you can create like a like some kind of an event that could take out your power grid or things like that. Hey Sue, I see you there. You found it. Nice. You found the link. Awesome. Excellent. Excellent. Now I know who you are. Fantastic. It's great to have you here. So, yeah, I mean, what do folks think about that rocket? What are you thinking on that? I'll wait a couple minutes for some comments on that. I think it was a scare tactic. I really do. I think they were just trying to with everything being so shaky with between Russia and the Ukraine and everything else that's going on out there, um, and then China I think is involved in that. And I mean, I'm not following it as closely as I need to. I've been working way too much lately, but yeah, there's a lot going on in the world. You think it was a distraction? Yeah, yeah, distraction. So that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Because you think about what's going on with the audits right now, right? And you think, well, this is just something going on in the U.S. Why would the world care about that? The world cares about that because of the world economy and how everything is tied together. So the outcome of those audits, or maybe I shouldn't even use that word. I'm so afraid to like say certain words that I'm going to get kicked off here. But it has to do with what's going on there and all of these other audits potentially opening up in like these other swing states. And I know Michigan is starting theirs. New Hampshire already started theirs. I think Georgia is getting ready to start theirs. So yeah, this is getting big. So they've got all the pipeline stuff going on. You've got the you know so let me look at some of the comments here. Hold on. So what's it say? When they were cross shooting them rockets, it looks like ETs were countering them. Yeah, right, right. Yeah, folks have any kind of like a link or to a video or something of that. I'd like to see that if we could, or maybe show it. It says, what's the next one say here? It says because they were being countering them in midair. I didn't see the counter shot shooting up with the rockets. Yeah, we've seen video where uh didn't they shoot down nuclear warheads before? Not shoot them down. They actually were like these crafts were hovering around the head of the warhead part of the missile where it was shooting these beams in, and somehow it was disabling that rocket, or the potency of what was inside of it. I mean, I've seen all kinds of videos like that. I don't know if that stuff is real, but It's very interesting. So something like this, you would think if they were looking over things, that they would probably try to do that. Um, but if they were, then you would think that would be some kind of nefarious thing going on, and ultimately it ended up landing in the Indian Ocean, right? Or that's what the official word is, anyway. God knows if they dropped any kind of a uh, aerosol in the upper atmosphere or anything like that. We don't know what they could have been doing with that. I just don't think that their scientists are that dumb to make that kind of a mistake. Uh, yeah. So I don't know. I just kind of wanted to kind of get that off my chest a little bit and see what people thought. Let's see. Do we have any other hot topics going on in the news that people want to throw out there for discussion? If not, we could probably end early, unless folks want to come on. And I also want to point out that there is that link at the top of the video too, if you want to join the discussion directly. It's kind of hard to have like a one-way discussion on this stuff, um, unless there's more folks chatting in the chat room, that I can kind of ping off of that and get some more thoughts going there. Um, Hunter Biden is reappearing in the news. Okay. I don't know. I don't know that I've seen that. Maybe I can do a quick search and see what I find here. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is from April 6th, though. Let's see. That's kind of a ways away. May, okay. Let's see what this is here. Hold on. Oh no, that's an old article. Anyway, so if you have anything to elaborate on that, let me see. Remember, Biden is now spelled 3DEN. Okay. Do you have anything to elaborate on that? Like he's repairing in the news? Because I really haven't seen anything, and I don't see anything in the search that comes up. But that doesn't mean anything either, because everything's controlled. Let's see. 1 in 3 making that. That's how they are hiding stuff from us. Ah. Oh, I see. Oh, so when I go to search for it, I need to put the 3 out there, is what you're saying. I mean, I could probably search all day for it, but if you have any sort of elaboration on that, that would be great. Use the 1 or the I and then the 3. Huh. I did not know that. But why would they do that? I mean, if it's something that they were reporting, why wouldn't they want people to find it? Or are you saying that, like, uh, sites that are posting this stuff are reporting it, but because they have to, and this is just a way to sort of make it not as obvious or not easy to find or something? I don't know. Not quite sure what you mean there. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, but the bad guys don't run the websites that are posting these articles. Although they can index them wrong or make them not show up in a search. Like I just couldn't find anything about it. What was going on? But are you saying they're like investigating him again, or what's the deal? Like, what is the real story about him being in the news? But I know I mean, there's so much information out there about him that already, like, well, what else could they possibly report that would be worse than is already out there? Nobody knows. All right. Well, looks like we have a low attendance tonight. So, and I really just wanted to pop in and talk about the thing that I saw on David's live. There was a letter with a Chinese girl in a relationship. Okay. Was that him or a different politician? I know there was another politician that had a Chinese girlfriend that ended up being a spy of some sort. I forget who that was. Let's see. What is he doing in China and Ukraine? Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of disgusting things that come up with in regards to China and Biden and or B, if you want to say that. I'm already in trouble using that term. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff there. Um, yeah, the way I feel about all that stuff is until I see arrests, I'm not even gonna focus on it because it aggravates me too much that they're getting away with so much. And I think we all kind of feel that way. So, yep. I mean, there's no point in turning our wheels about it unless there's some kind of action being taken. And it seems like the stuff comes out, right? Even like during the election or just before the election, it all gets covered up and, no one gets to see it. And then even after the election, it just seems to disappear. It goes away. Like, no one covers it. You know, if that was one of Donald Trump's kids, forget it. They'd all be in jail in a second. But anyway, Sue, we covered. I know we covered earlier. We covered the pipeline being shut down and attacked. Um, that was weird timing. Again, distraction from the what's going on in Arizona and other swing states. I think. And then you had obviously before that we had the executive order for shutting down the oil coming in from Alaska, and then we also have the the governor of Michigan, who also was looking to shut down the pipeline coming in through north central there through Canada as well. So, I mean, that serves two purposes, right? To kind of drive the price of oil up and to make us dependent on foreign oil again, and also, another distraction. So, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have tonight. So if we don't have other questions or other topics to cover, if people don't want to jump in, then I will probably end it there. Give folks a couple of minutes. There's really not much else going on other than that. I mean, we really were all just kind of waiting to see the outcome of these audits and what's going to happen after that. What do people think about that? Like, do you think even if they find this corruption, do you think the courts are going to follow through with doing anything about it, or is it just going to be, oh yeah, we found corruption and we're just going to try to prevent it next time? Let's see what we got here. Someone just posted a link here. Let me show it. I want to click on it. It won't let me click on it. So I'm going to have to go to the website. Hold on. Let's see. Huh. Looks like the comments are coming in out of order. Very strange. Oh, here we go. Oh, yes. Okay. This is a good thing. Yeah. Thanks for this one. I wanted to actually talk about this too, but I forgot about this earlier today. Let me get rid of all these pop-ups, then I can actually look at the article here. This is very good to show and a good thing to talk about. So let me do that. If I could just get over there, that'd be great. There we go. All right. So yeah, so this one, very interesting, right? They deleted, the Maricopa County deleted the entire database. IO days. I don't know what IO means. Days prior to turning over equipment to the audit. Yeah, but well, that's right. I'm in the technical field, so I know exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to see every entry in the database. They're trying to see, like, if someone had manually deleted any of the records in there, if there's anything out of whack when it comes to looking at the data. But the thing of it is too is there's also the problem with them not having passwords to get into the system to look at that level on the actual device. So they're not only going to be looking at for the data in the database, but they're going to be looking at all the metadata that sort of is around, like the internet protocol traffic going in and out of the devices from where they're not really supposed to be connected to a network at all. They were obviously connected to a network, and that's the thing that they want to investigate to see what kind of traffic was coming in and out. I believe that there are other people who have looked into this information that have either through white hat hackers or whatever have proven the traffic and have gotten the information, because you can if you can gain access to the network, you can actually look at the router itself or the networking equipment, and you can see logs of where the traffic was going. Like, where did the traffic come from? What IP addresses? What countries? What, you know, where is that data? Where was the access to the network coming through? And I believe that's already been shown. And I could say that's from some guy who sells pillows, who has a documentary out there that has collected all of that information and has his own lawsuits and things that he's filing. I don't know why this is pop-up is still here, but keep trying to get rid of it. But anyway, so it says Maricopa County deleted entire database prior to turning over the election equipment to the Arizona Senate for the forensic audit now occurring. The Senate President Karen Fann today sent a letter to the country election board for an explanation. The letter can be seen on the table below. Explanation for what? You deleted a database. You're guilty. Go to jail. That's what I feel. Sorry, that was my other side. I got a little bit fired up when it comes to that kind of stuff. There's no reason for anybody to delete a database when you're supposed to legally keep this information around. I think for years, right? I don't know if it's 2-3 years or something like that. You have to keep this information around. Maybe it's even till the next election. I don't really know, but I know it's not. You're not supposed to delete it right away. That's the reason you have audits and things like that after the fact when things look a little shady, right? Former Overstock CEO Patrick Payne asked the following questions on his Telegram channel. Maricopa County purposely deleted a directory full of election database related to the past 22 election cycle 10 days before the election equipment was delivered to the. Oops. Okay, we had a page refresh there. That's nice. Nice, guys. Delivered to the Arizona audit. Okay, this is the destruction of evidence, at least contempt. Of course, it's more than that. You know, it's obvious criminality. You don't do things like that. It's kind of like these things I heard about immediately after the election. Some of these ballots got shredded in some of these swing states. I mean, there's all kinds of information going on out there. Who knows what's true, what's not true? This is obviously not a lie. They're doing a full forensic audit on this, trying to figure out where everything is, what happened, you know? Why did security seals arrive cut? And what security seals arrive cut? What does that mean? Oh, security seal. Okay, so they after they're done doing the election, I believe everything needs to be sealed up, whether that's a hard drive or whether that's the actual uh, batch of ballots or whatever. Everything comes. It's supposed to come with a seal on it, right? Like that's what they're talking about there. But it looks like all of the seals were cut. Why were they placed at the bottom of the boxes? Why were security ballot bags not used by the county? Security ballot bags. Oh, so yeah. I mean, it's obvious. It's just widespread corruption. We've seen so much evidence already of people coming forward with signed affidavits saying, you know, you know, with threat of perjury, they signed these affidavits saying, yeah, this is absolute truth. I've seen all this corruption going on. There's so many different ways that they went about this. Is this the country's customary practice for storing ballots? No. We have recently discovered that the entire database directory from the D drive of the machine, EMS primary, has been deleted. This removes election related details that appear to have been covered by the subpoena. In addition, the main database for the election management system software, results tally and reporting, is not located anywhere on the EMS primary machine, even though all of the EMS client reference that machine as the location of the database. So the all the clients, meaning the machines that were pointing to the place where they were supposed to save the data, have all, they're all pointing to this non-existent database. So it's obvious that that was the place where it needed to write to. You can you please advise as to why these folders were deleted and whether there are any backups that may contain the deleted folders? So here's the thing: if you have the hard drive, right, you can undelete. If you have software, there's software out there that will, unless they use like BitBleach, like certain people do with their emails. Okay, unless you do something like that, it's recoverable. All you need is the hard drive and some software that will allow you to forensically rebuild, because even though you delete something or you delete a file or you delete a database or something that's a database file, let's say it's in a file format that was sitting there, uh, unless it's like running in some kind of encapsulated container or something like that, where it wasn't installed physically on the hard drive, it was installed in a piece of software, then you would only have the reference to the software. But in this case, you had a physical file or a database. So they should be able to forensically rebuild that database file back up, at least as long as there hasn't been anything overwriting it in the meantime. Like if they didn't try to do beach bleach bit software, which is basically writing over the hard drive with zeros and ones and kind of like scrambling any data that could have been retrievable. So there is a way to gain access to that. So let's see. They're going to have to use fine-tooth comb and forensics to figure that out. Yes, of course. That's exactly what I'm saying. You know? And yep, it's definitely tampering it with evidence. I mean, it's more than tampering with evidence. It's a flat out crime. I mean, that is the whole basis of the audit, is to look at the data. Like, how did the system tally the data, and how does that compare with what they're counting? That's what they're trying to do. They've done all the reevaluation. They found plenty of problems with what they're seeing by doing the manual. Now you have to compare to see if what we're seeing with the actual physical uh, manual balloting, does that match with what was in the database? Now they can't even do that, because if there was any sort of corruption with switching votes from one candidate to another, that's obviously going to show. That's how you show the discrepancies, by comparing the two. Now you can't even do that. I mean, you're going to see enough of a discrepancy in the ballots themselves, because there was all kinds of different, corruption that was going on. But this is the biggest one, the electronic corruption. This is where you're going to see most of the infiltration and problems, I believe. That whole 3 a.m. in the morning when they stopped all the voting, and then all the you saw, even on the news, you saw like 20 or 30,000 votes switch from Trump to Biden. Like, he would all of a sudden have a deficit of, I don't know, like 10, 12,000, and all of a sudden you see the Biden go up about the same amount. And I think someone even got a screenshot showing the before and the after, and how it was exactly down to like, it was the exact same amount that was deficited from Trump and put on to Biden. We're going to have to use process the same thing. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know why people don't get arrested when they see stuff like this. Like, how is it that people get away with doing something like that? Like, how do you not know who did it, first of all? And then how do you not have an admin password to your whole system for doing voting? Like, how do you not have something like that? How come nobody has something like that? Do you think there was some kind of collusion going on there? Wouldn't you want to know if your systems were secure? Yeah, they didn't want to know. They knew what was going on. This is the facility too, right? So you've got cameras everywhere, you know, that are actually observing all of this review process here. I think this is the Maricopa. Yep, that's it. It's also being live streamed. There are, links that you can go to and see all the different camera angles to make sure that there's no corruption going on the floor here. Um, and they're calling this review like some kind of uh, what do they say? They're saying it's not transparent because we're not letting the government go in and monitor it or mess around, right? No, this is an independent audit, and it's legal, and it's being done in a very transparent way by allowing the cameras in there. So yeah, I mean, what else can you say about that, right? It's pretty sickening. Yeah, thanks for that. I wanted to cover that too. I just had forgotten earlier. Um, yep. So yeah, up here, just again a reminder for those who are signed in. At any time, if you ever wanted to come on, you don't have to come on, as video either. You can come on as just audio or whatever onto the show. It allows you to do that and just either not show your camera or just come in as if you were a caller. You could click that link here, and that brings you into the studio itself. So that's always going to be there. Every time we do a live, we're going to have this whole setup here. You only have to do this once, and this is the link that you would use to dial in if you ever wanted to do that. So I feel like it's better when people dial in and you can kind of have like a back-to-back, a face-to-face kind of conversation where you're going back and forth. So yep. So let's see if there are any other comments. Maybe I should refresh. I don't think it automatically refreshes there. Yeah, so I think that's all we have for covering this evening. Is there anything else around the election we want to talk about? I don't know. There's just so much stuff going on in the world. It's crazy. It's hard to keep up with everything. And I think we all get so frustrated, waiting to see what's going to happen with all of this. And I don't know. Got to remain hopeful and trust that the right thing will happen. Trust that God has a hand in it. You're welcome. We'll see you guys another time. We'll see you next week, or yeah, maybe probably next week, the middle of the week sometime. So, yeah. Have a good evening, folks.